Welcome back. The time now is 6:38. An investigation continues this morning after 3 people were killed in a shooting at San Diego's largest mosque yesterday. Active shooter Chris Grollnek joins us now to weigh in on what we saw yesterday. And Chris, I want to start with the response to yesterday's shooting. The police chief was talking about 4 minutes, a very large response, them given a heads up by the mother of one of these teen suspects as to, a situation that obviously was concerning enough for her to call law enforcement. But can you talk about what you saw as far as a response yesterday?
Well, the response was exceptional. These incidents happen from 0 to 8 minutes, and it normally takes police, on average, over the last 27 years, 8 minutes plus to arrive on scene. So for them to get there as rapidly as they did and expeditiously, their response was one of the best we've seen in the country. I mean, hats off to San Diego. The police chief said yesterday they followed all active shooter protocols. They not only followed them, but they did it to a T. The reunification center, as I said last night on several national broadcasts, was set up in an exceptional fashion. The coordination was great. The media interview afterwards for getting information out to the community was good. And of course, we preach from the platform of not having these, and prevention is key. So while we have a very keen response, and it was exceptional as a matter of fact, how do we still have 3 people dead and the ability for 2 teenagers to commit this type of atrocity when there was a heads up? Now, that's not a failure on anyone's part yesterday because they're working within the parameters that they have. However, we need to just shift the focus, and that's been about a 33-year passion project for me.
Yeah, and what a heavy task to shift that focus. I know you are looking at this from a perspective of how do we prevent, especially teens, young minds from what it seems to be must have somehow been radicalized online. I mean, we can make a number of assumptions or what we think as we are continuing to gather information, but how do we do that as a society? What are some of the steps that could have been looked at here, as this mother obviously had been dealing with, as she looked back, a situation where she saw a pattern that did not look good to her, to a point where she called law enforcement?
What great questions. And let me start with this. It's an emotional topic because this is all I do, and it's basically the business of homicide, right? How to fix the problems. And dealing with families, always troublesome. Dealing with victims' families, always troublesome. So I've shifted my own focus, and this is not about me. This is about we, your whole audience. I've shifted my focus to where we don't have to have these difficult conversations. We can have more of a thorough conversation around, say, the fire model. About 70 years ago in Chicago, over 92 kids and 3 nuns were killed in a private school fire, and it started the fire code. And since then, we haven't lost a single child to a fire, K through 12. So if we could put that type of system in place for, say, all hazards and active shooters, including everything, while the events might still take place, the loss of life would be limited. Unfortunately, we're on the rinse and repeat cycle. More security, more staff. And while CISA has funded all the houses of worship programs exceptionally, very well, again, things are going very well, but we're doing the same thing and still are talking about 3 lives that are lost. So let's memorialize them, honor them by doing better, and realizing there's a lot we can do to actually stop and mitigate these things. Because you're right, the mother notifying after the child stole the car, took the guns, and was missing, fantastic on the mother's part. But still, the police could only do so much because they cannot arrive on scene the moment of unless they're there.
Yeah, and assuming they know the target, which obviously, I don't think they did, but, did, as you mentioned, get there in such a quick manner. And you also have to look at the 3 heroes in this situation, especially that security guard who likely prevented so many more deaths by by his heroic actions. A security guard, a father of 8. I mean, these individuals likely saved a number of lives, but as you mentioned, it's still, three lives lost that we need to find a way to prevent this from happening.
The fire analogy is the best analogy there is, right? It's because you have fire alarms, fire detection, you have civilians in the NFPA and everywhere else that goes out and does these assessments globally, and then there's national associations, and the fire standards are followed by all builders and contractors and people. In your own studio, if you were to remove the smoke, say the smoke detector or fire extinguisher, you wouldn't be able to broadcast until you replace them. So why don't we do something like that with a notification system, a monitoring platform, and then some type of visualization platform for data? You can see where things are happening, and if somebody shows up with a firearm, which 90% of these people that commit these crimes, and this person, these two people, are no different, gave warning before they did it. And yet we're still shocked after they do it as if we couldn't believe it. So if we have these types of notification systems and visualization systems for data, think of a live twin, if you will. You can memorialize data that's in real time and then broadcast it out and tell people, go inside, lock the door, security included, don't let anyone in, and then you don't have any shootings outside because you see the threat coming before it happens. Those are the type of rapid, right-now fixes that are available. And while that's just one of 17 different things you can do, we can become as active shooter resistant as we are fire resistant. And while fire knows the location because it starts to burn, we still manage to save people and keep grotesque incidents from happening. And these terrorism events aren't going away. Doesn't matter what you call it. Semantics doesn't matter. Active shooter, domestic terrorism, international terrorism, radicalized online. Evil will find a way. We need to start combating the facilities to prevent the evil from occurring, and let the professionals that worry about the shooters themselves face that, and then these responders keep training. We didn't get rid of firefighters by putting in a prevention standard. We hired more, and that's what we need: more police, more standards, and more civilian interaction and action. And you and I won't be here having these horrible conversations. And I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity, because there is something we can do, and we can honor these victims by doing better.
Chris Grollnek, thank you so much for your analysis this morning. I appreciate your time, and certainly hope we can find a way to prevent this. Thank you.
Thank you.